high school did you go to?
Mhm. I went to two high schools. I went to Southwestern. 'Cause actually, when I went to Bobian, Bobian's on the west side. I left Bobian, and so Bobian went from seventh to the ninth. So usually, when you leave Bobian, you go to Mumford. But I left the west side and went back to Southwest because I'm just Southwest is in my blood. I got all my family there and friends and stuff. So I went there for like the 10th and some of the 11th, and I wasn't doing too good. So I had to come back over here to the West, and I
What
went to.
happened? What was you doing? Why you was doing too? What
Oh
happened?
man, I was just not going to school. I was just I had all my buddies and my friends where I grew up with, man, and we were just having a good time, man. And we would you can walk down to the bakery right down the street, or you can all types of stuff, man. And I was just like, man, I got to get back because it was going downhill. So I went over to Mumford for the rest of my 11th year and my 12th year, my 11th and 12th grade, and that's where I graduated from in 1990.
And so
So
what? Oh, sorry.
mhm. No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna ask you like, so what was some of your memories there? Like, because I know we talk about a whole nother level of self discovery. So
Mhm.
what was your time there? What was some memories there? Did you evolve as a man? Because now that's where you kind of like transition it into
Yeah,
manhood, so to speak. So
yeah.
can you give us a little bit of experience from your high school?
My high school, it was just it was cool, man. I knew a lot of people because mind you, when you come from Bobby and you go to Mumford, so a lot of people, man, real cool people. And I used to hang out with, even though I stayed off of 7 Mile. I hung with some of the guys off of the street called Ohio and Curtis, and then people off of 6 Mile. And that usually don't happen like that. If you a 7 Mile guy, you a 7 Mile guy. If you a 6 Mile, you know what I mean? So again, that was my ability to adapt to everybody and not really joining a gang or wherever you from. Are you from 7 Mile? You from 6 Mile? This, that, and other. So I was cool everywhere I went. But just learning how to navigate out here. Now, as you're getting older, now I'm 18, 17, 18, 19. I was really I had a good job at like 18, 19. I worked at AAA. My mom got me a job at AAA. So
Okay.
I was business
That is
suits
good.
and
Yeah,
and
for
and,
18
and
years old.
briefcases at
Yeah.
19 and 20. So I stayed out of the street per se, but I was attached to the street. And shout out to my 6 Mile family, man. I mean, you go back to the shooting dice days, man. That was one thing that I was shooting dice every day. But my people on Griggs and Washburn and Eileen, they helped shape me. And I wasn't from that area, so they accept me. My best friend Mo, I met him at Bobian and when I was 14, and we still brothers to this day. That's my guy, man. So I just say shout out to them. And even people off 7 Mile. I stay on 7 Mile Apple and Stahalin and Roseline. But everywhere I go, man, I just got a lot of love because they knew I was really a civilian. I wasn't no guy that was into no gangs or into no nothing like that. But at the same time, I had to develop that I am a man, so I'm not gonna back down from anything. But
Yeah,
it was
right.
just
Of
the,
course.
it was just the love that they gave me because they knew I
Yeah.
wasn't trying to be tough. I wasn't trying to be hard, a street dude, and they knew that and they respected that.
You
You know.
know what? And it's so funny how, when you talk about gangsters or like, people in within that street life,
Hmm.
it seems to me that they're the ones with the most discernment, when it
Yeah.
comes to people. Because I mean, because they're the main ones that would actually encourage you to go the other route. That not every
Yeah.
they're not always recruiting you. They
That's
kind
right.
of get a
That's
sense
right.
of who you are and what
Hmm.
you need to be doing, and what you need to be doing is not this.
Yeah.
What we're doing. Because I think I don't know. I mean, does that do you agree with that? I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
feel like they
Yeah.
have the most discernment. Like this is not the lane for you here. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I get
Absolutely.
that from a lot of, people like, who are about that life,
Yeah.
they're able to detect who you are, and they already knew.
Yeah, they knew. They didn't want to attach me to them. Then plus, like I say, I have my stepfather, man. We would go to the auto show. We would go to certain
Oh
things
yeah.
where it might have been other guys out there doing what they doing. My stepfather take me here. We had his side of the family, man. We so close on the Haynes side, man. We would go over there and we would spend a night, or we would have, we were like brothers sister slash cousins. And then rapping, when we used to rap back in the day, me and my partner Mo, we used to rap, and then we had this crew called the Posse, and every Sunday we would all get together and we would pay our dues. It'd be like 60 people at this one house, and we would just learn different techniques of hip hop. I mean, we would rap, we would dance, we would DJ, we would do stuff. So it kept us for that Sunday. It kept us in tune and couldn't wait to go and meet people and have a good time. And we would go out and do shows, and we would go out and break dance and challenge each other. So it kept us out of the streets for that
Yeah.
day. Now, don't get me wrong. You had people that was involved in there that were really, really street dudes, but they would love to get a break from that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And come over here where we at. And we had some good people that come out of there that really made it. I don't know if you're familiar with her name was Boss. She just passed away
Yeah.
recently, a couple years
Yeah.
ago. So Boss, she went to from our camp, the posse, she went over to LA with DJ Quick and Def Jeff and Spice One. And then she got signed to Def Jam with Onyx and Jam Master Jay and all them over there, man. So she really made it. So we were looking at that like one of us made it, all of us can make it.
Wow.
We were really working hard at that. Yeah.
So you grew up with her?
Yeah, you know what? As I was coming into the camp, she was just leaving, but I had a few interactions with her. But she was just leaving, going to LA, and she was really getting started there, man. So I didn't really have a lot of interaction with her, because I was just coming into that crew. But she made a heavy, heavy, heavy impact. We were all brothers and sisters, man. Like DJ Fingers came from that camp, DJ Steady Rock, DJ I Rock. It's so many people that come from that camp that's out doing, I mean, 20, 30 years plus in the game. So yeah, that kind of molded you having it was almost like, I'm not gonna say it was like the army, I mean, or like the military. It wasn't, but it taught you structure.
Mhm.
It taught
Mhm.
you structure. Was when you came into the camp, you were called you were a what do they call that? Well, you had different levels. You could become a thoroughbred, and that means you were at the top of the level. When you came in, you had to do go for work.
Organization.
It was an organization. It was structured.
Yeah, yeah.
You came in. You had to go for work. You had to do a show, or you had to battle somebody, and that's how you become a thoroughbred. That was your level that you wanted to be a thoroughbred. And shout out to Jewel. Jewel was the one who created the Miles Dixon and stuff like that, man. So it was good.
Nice. Okay. But I'm
Mhm.
so so I'm so glad that it seemed like growing up you was very well rounded. So
Yeah, yeah,
you're
yeah.
not
I had different
that.
facets of everything. I mean, I
Yeah.
had family structure, I had street structure, I
Right.
had, the acting part. I mean, the theater part. I went to Spec Howard's where I went for radio, so I always felt I had a voice for radio. I used to give parties back in '97. Well, I started in '97, and still to this day I'm interacting with that. So I just had my hand in everything.
Having everything
Yeah,
exactly, and hey, and it's very beneficial. Yeah, because
yeah.
especially nowadays with the economy the way it is. Yes, you definitely have
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
generate some revenue in the process.